there are loads of different applications where I think it applies in your professional life, in maybe your family life, in your home life, in your kind of social life. I mean, I'm thinking back to when we were all revising for exams at university, and I stayed up. I did some all-nighter revision sessions because I, left it all too late and obviously didn't know enough at the time. So you're cramming and you're cramming and you're cramming, which meant that you got into that exam and you're absolutely knackered. Surely it would have been better to have said, right, enough's enough. I'm going to get at least 4 hours sleep and go in a little bit fresh.
At least 4 hours.
Well, amazing. That's how Robbie rolled.
Yeah. And it's I think it's the same with sport as well. If you're training for a race or something, if you're cramming in your training in the last 2 weeks, actually you're probably better off giving your body a really good rest so that you're going into the race fresh. I've definitely struggled with that before as well.
Yeah, I can relate to both of those. Like the studying for exams, like you can do every single past paper ever, and it might add 1 or 2 marks, but it might take you another 2 days of studying. So, is that worth it? And I think with health as well, doing a little bit of exercise is a lot better than doing no exercise. And doing moderate exercise on a regular basis is really good, but doing tons of exercise every day,
knacking your joints.
Maybe it's good, but certainly not nearly as good as getting off the sofa in the first place, in terms of your benefit, unless you're training for ultras or something. You don't need to do that much.
Yeah. And then there's things like friendships, right? So how many friends? We talked a little bit about this in the episode on Dunbar's law at the beginning of the series. But, the more and more and more friends you have, how well do you really know any of them? Or
I think about how often you see people as well.
Yeah.
So it's obviously not brilliant to see people once every 2 years. So once a year is better. Once every 6 months probably better. Once every 3 months. But when you get down to I don't know, should I see somebody every day? You're probably getting Are you getting diminishing returns? Maybe you could actually be better off if you saw each other a bit less.
Yeah. Gosh, it's tricky, isn't it? It's tricky, all this stuff.
What's the optimum amount to see people? I don't know.
Boozing, as a law of diminishing returns. First couple of pints. Oh, lovely. I'm really on the up here. Having a great time. 4. Who am I talking about here? Not me anymore. Not me anymore, that's for sure.
But 4 then when alcohol-free beverages, maybe, Robert.
Right, but then when you've really started hitting gone from the beer to the wine and the spirits, then it's all downhill from there, isn't it?
Just a sliding down that chart. I was trying to think about when diminishing returns might be a problem, and I was thinking about tidying, and when you might have differences in perception as to how tidy is tidy enough. So you might stop and go, well, I could tidy that last bit, but this is fine. And somebody else might go, this is still not fine. And if we tidy that, it would be much better. Yes. And you think it would just be a little bit better. And that might lead to arguments. Tom having to get off on the sandbank.
This is interesting. Yes. So Sorry, it's a difference in interpretation of where that peak point is.
Yes, and so when Sarah and I 10 years ago decided to move in together, my first rule is that we must get a cleaner, because I knew that my level of it's clean enough would be very different to her level of what clean is, and so therefore I'd always end up getting in trouble. For the shower, for example.
Well, I wasn't going to ask which way that went, Tom. I thought you were going to leave that ambiguous.
No. But it's good to learn each other's levels on these things, I've found.
All music on this podcast series is sourced from the very talented Frank Cinelli. And you can find loads more tracks at frankcinelli.com.